tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, Worthy One, the fully enlightened Buddha. Santussa kocha subharocha appakicchocha salla ukautti. Santindriyocha nipakocha appagabbo kulesu ananugitto. Dear friends in Dhamma, today, are we really free? I think we have become another form of slaves. The slavery was stopped and prohibited, I think, long time ago. But still, I think we have become some sort of slaves even today. I like to talk with you today about the simplicity that we need to come to a point where we have gone far beyond, and without reflection, without considering, where are we really going and are we really happy? All human beings, including all other beings in the universe, are seeking happiness. We are pleasure and happy seekers. But there is a myth created in the society. As society has advanced from starting with industrialization, modernization, globalization, now we are more advanced than in the human history. We have advanced in a point where no one reached this level of advancement in the human history. Even though we have so many equipments, appliances, we have so many apparatus to make ourselves happier, contented, comfortable, feel better. But if you look at the society, if you look at each and every individual, I think we are more or less much unhappy, sad, or stressed, or under depression. Why is that? I think there are many reasons behind these things. T.S. Eliot, a famous poet, wrote his little lines and he said, "Let us learn to stand still. From the morning we are to the evening, we are running around, running behind, seeking, finding pleasure, finding things to make us happy. But where is happiness really lies?" Today I would like to talk about the contentment, easily supportableness. So in Karaniya Metta Sutta, one of the basic sutta we use in chanting for the protection and blessing in everyday life, has described so many qualities that we should develop in order to achieve Nibbana, in order to achieve happy state of mind. In order to achieve happy state of mind, one good quality, one good behavior we should develop in our day-to-day activity is to become very simple, straightforward. How do we become simple and easily supportable? Human mind is limitless. Human mind has the needs and desires which are limitless. So we have to discriminate, we have to differentiate between what are our basic needs and what are our wants. Adam Smith, a well-known economist who was in UK, has explained that the economics purpose is to gain happiness from unlimited happiness from very limited resources, which is impossible, which is cannot be done, because this economic model, this economic methods continue to exist in this world more than a century. But still, each and every day, many people are restless, under depression, under tension, and also the amount of people undertaking or undergoing psychological treatment are on the rise, especially in Europe and America and also in these countries. Because people doesn't know how to handle the restlessness they are facing, how to handle the uncomfortable feelings in their life because of this rat race. Now, this modern society is governed by advertisement. What does advertisement do to us? Do they do good to us or bad to us? Most of the advertisement are very cleverly designed, very cleverly planned to attract the customers. So we will become a slave of these advertisements. We have become slaves of this propaganda. And we think what are our wants as our essentials, our needs. We have misguided, we have lost this misunderstanding of what are our needs and what are our wants. And this conflict of understanding leads to restlessness. Buddha says, even there was a rain of gold coins, we will not be satisfied, because by nature, our mind is insatiable. We are like children. When we are like children, children always want a bulldozer, a backhoe, a car, a doll. But as soon as they get the doll or the bulldozer or whatever the play item they want, toy they want, moment they got, that is enough. He wants something else. He wants some other toy. Similarly, we are made to buy. We are made slaves to buy next model of iPhone, next model of smartphone, next model of TV, next model of other appliances. So we are pushed forward to buy these things. So in order to go with this race, we need to earn. But our salaries, our incomes won't increase like our desires, our wants and our expectations. So there will be a conflict of interest, because we have demands, we have needs, we have desires which cannot be met with our income, and then we are in suffering. Buddha says, Yam picchan nalabati tampi dukkam. What you want to gain, what you want to achieve, what you want to receive, you are not receiving. You feel suffering, you feel distress, you feel not happy. So, in Buddha, there was a king called, this king came to meet the Buddha, and he was quite fat and he has eaten a very big meal. Now we have the wants and needs. One want is our physical needs, is food, basic need. Now see the society, see the people. Because of food, how many people are sick now? Why? Because they eat too much. Because olden days our lifestyle was designed, or our lifestyle was so with the nature. We didn't have vehicles, we didn't have machines, so our body had enough exercises. But today we travel by car, bus, train, and we use all the equipment in the house. Our life is more convenient, but our energy we get from the food are not burnt, not used. Our calories are gathered in the body, and we become obesity, we become very fat. So it is very important to eat to live, not live to eat. Nowadays, these people are not easily supportable because of the advertisement. They want this to eat or that to eat, and they are not eating just to survive, but to make their tongue happier. So it's okay to eat good food from time to time, but you need to know the balance. You need to know the right amount you need to take. Otherwise, many sicknesses will come to you. So this king came to the Buddha and told, I am very uncomfortable because I eat huge meal. And Buddha never explained him, you should stop or blame. Buddha say, okay king, you better eat mindfully. Now sometimes we eat under the TV, watching the news or your favorite teledrama, then you don't know what you are eating. You don't know how much you are taking. Buddha says, each morsel of rice or each piece of bread you eat, you must be aware that you are putting it in the mouth. You must be aware that you are chewing it well, and you must aware. And very nice advice was given to this king. Chatupancha alopeta petva udakampi pivi. This king was asked to have some space for the food, like 4 or 5, 6 morsels of food, space in the stomach so that he can drink some water. So if this king continue to eat in this way and he lose the weight, but modern day look at so many gyms and so many weight losing programs, so much money is spent on operations and surgical things. Why? Because they want to lose weight. They are not happy with the body. Why they are not happy with the body? Because they are overeating, less exercise. So therefore, the best and easy solution is to reduce your weight, is to be aware of the you are eating. So mindfulness. In Buddhist teaching, the sati or the mindfulness is very important thing. So one day this king came to the Buddha and back after a few months and worshipped the Buddha and said to the Buddha, you have taught me the way not only to purify my mind and also balance my body and the health and the strength. So he was very comfortable after practicing. So Buddha was the first dietitian who taught us to reduce our food. For venerable monks, they have to take 2 meals, which in turn help to gain their health and also have good balanced body. So it's very important to be aware of your intake of food. Other consumption habits, let's see. So nowadays people are building houses and other things. I read a very fascinating story from Thailand. One gentleman from the Thai village come to Bangkok and he began to work in a construction company. And he was a poor village boy and he didn't get enough income. He said during his stay in Bangkok, his salary was just enough to eat bowl of noodles and pay his rent in the boarding and just to send a little bit of money to the house in the village. So he think again and he began to follow a university course. Of course, since his salary was not enough, he could not excel in his education as well. So he think again after some time, he reflected and think, okay, I will go back to the village. I will start a small farm. He started a small farm and a small fish tank and he become very simplistic. He become very simplistic and he says, he has to work 2 times of the year just to cultivate rice, and other time he has a lot of free time. So he began to build a uh, seed store, or to protect the seeds for the people to grow any food. So what he says, that as human beings we have come to a level where humanity and the civilizedness become very cruel. You know, another friend of him who is working in the Bangkok, he has taken loan to build a house, and he live in a very nice big house, but he has to pay for it for 30 years. So he just built a small hut or a small house from mud bricks and the other leaves, and every 6 months he makes another house. And he says, in order to be happy, we don't need to have so much big things, so much nice things, so much. Another, this person says, the simple life is so happy. He says he used the used clothes. So many people come to learn from him, and he is like public speaker now. He has a library, and many people bring clothes for him, and he also distributes some of them. So in Buddhist teachings, it is very important to use things very properly and nicely. I can give you a very nice example from how we are asked to use our robes. When one king offered robes to the Ananda Thero, 500 robes, and Ananda Thero readily accepted the 500 robes. And king wondered what this monk is going to do this with 500 robes, and asked the king from the monk. Then Ananda Thero said, we are going to store them in the store, robe store, and we will distribute these robes to those monks who don't have robes. And after that we use these robes, and if it is unusable as a robe, we will use it as an underrobe. If it is unusable as an underrobe, then we will use it as a bed cloth or the bed sheet. If we cannot use it as a bed sheet, we will use it as a bed mat or doormat. After we cannot use it as a doormat, we will use it in the kitchen to hold the fireplace, the pots and other things. After all these maximum usages of the cloth, we will use it to make the walls in the temple. So repair of temples use these clothes as a bowl of cloth and together with mud and build the walls. See how much we are asked to use, not to extravagant and not to waste them, and just to use them in a nice way. It's a way of recycling, way of using them. Nowadays, this modern development is always encourage us to use and throw, which in turn destroy the environment, which in turn create CO2 to pollute the environment, and also these garbages and waste are no place to put. So we need to be careful of our consumption habits. So when we are building house, some people build house and they beyond their income, and they have to pay it 30-40 years. They cannot finish the house until they die. When their children comes, that house is not good enough for them. They are old style, they want another house, they will do the same mistakes. So we need to develop idea that what we need, what we really need, we need to understand this. So if you don't understand this, we will be very we have a lot of suffering, we have a lot of stress, we have a lot of. Another person, a professor, his students came to meet him and asked about what they are doing and all the details of the student. They say, we are under very stress, we are under a difficult period, we are not happy, we are. So the professor asked for them. Professor prepared a cup of coffee and gave all of them. Then professor drink from a very simple cup, and all the other students who visited his house were given very nice cups. And at the end, the professor said, when you want to drink coffee in a nice cup, you will be stressed. But if you drink the same coffee in a normal cup, just a simple cup, it's the same. The high quality porcelain cups were given them, and he used just a simple ceramic cup. It doesn't matter what you use. It's not the container that matters. It is the content that matters. What sort of qualityful life you are using is the most important, not the container. Therefore, this professor taught us, sometimes we are always behind the brands. We want this car or this Ferrari or this BMW or whatever, this kind of phone. It doesn't so much matter as long as you can use it, as long as you can make use of the equipment. It doesn't matter. Don't run behind the brands. If you run behind the brands, more stress are created, more unhappiness is created. In order to gain this kind of big brands, you need to spend a lot of money. When you want to spend a lot of money, you need to have more, work more, and suffer more. And another important factor is this society is leading towards credit. Few years ago, a very big country was collapsed because of credit system. We want to buy the car on lease, we want to buy the phone on installment, we want to buy the TV on installment, and all of these give a big headache at the end of the month. How are you going to pay all these installments? When you pay all these installments, there will be nothing left for you to live or to buy food or pay your children's tuition. So it is very important to have balance this way of life with you within your means. You have to understand what are my income, what amount of money I can spend, so that you won't not be in trouble. And very important lesson we can learn from the Buddha about the food. When Buddha was under rainy retreat and observing Vassa in Vairanja, the person who invited him did not come to look after him. And the monks slowly depend on a very rough kind of rice and a rice porridge for 3 months. And all the monks never complain about the taste of the food or the quality of the food. They just survive. So we need to know what kind of things are we consume, what kind of things we can consume, and what amount of things we can consume. The very important word explained in Pali is mattanyuta. Mattanyuta is the quantity or the amount you need. You have to decide. Others cannot decide for you. Everything you need to know the amount you need. If you are over greedy, and sometimes people want to make and inspire others and impress others. There are two different words. One is impress, is you buy certain expensive things and you want to show off, but through a cloth or through shoes or through your cars, the impress, you try to impress, but that impression doesn't last long. Take for example Mahatma Gandhi. He was a very simple man. He just wear one cloth, and still he is remembered. He didn't try to impress others, but he tried to inspire a nation. So inspirations come from your behavior, impressions come from your outward things. Outward appearance is very important, but most important is your qualities, the spiritual qualities. So Buddha says, Santutti Paramandanang, the most important wealth is the contentment. So if you can content with what you have, that will make you more happier. Another very important quality we need to develop in order to be happy and contented is gratitude. We need to develop the gratitude. When you are gratitude about what you have, your health, your parents, your friends, your family, your house, whatever you are using, your motorbike, whatever, you can be grateful that I am having this, I am using this, I am having these people around me. So all of this, don't take it for granted. just be grateful. This gratefulness will help you to be happy. So what is more important in our life is the contentment, not going behind like the slaves of all the wants. We need to understand what are our wants, and because we have very limited time in our life, we can waste all of our precious time by running behind all these expectations, all these hopes, all these unnecessary wants. So, dear friends in Dhamma, try to understand that simplicity is the best for our life to make us happy. May the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha guide you and protect you and bless you. Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu sasanang. Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu desanang. Akasattha ca bhummattha deva naga mahiddhika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakkantu tang sadhati.